Hello everyone, you're welcome to this channel. In this video, we have to solve for x from this equation. S to the power 6 minus s cubed is equal to 2. So stay tuned and let's learn together. Now from the question, we're given s to the power 6 minus s cubed is equal to 2. And so from here, we are going to rewrite s to the power 6 as s cubed all exponent 2 minus s cubed is equal to 2. And so from here we have s cubed in common. So we are going to let y to be equal to s cubed. And so we are going to have y squared minus y is equal to 2. Now let's push everything to the left hand side. And so we are going to have y squared minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. So over here we are going to manipulate negative y in a way that we are going to pick two numbers. When we multiply the two numbers, we need to get negative 2. Then when we add the two numbers, we need to get negative 1, which is the coefficient of y. And so we are going to pick negative 2 and then 1. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. And negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. And so we are good to go. So we are going to rewrite negative y as negative 2y plus y. And so we are going to have y squared minus 2y plus y minus 2 is equal to 0. And so from here we are going to factorize this in batches, the first two terms and the last two terms. And so over here we have y in common. So we are going to bring y out, leaving y minus 2. And here we can also factorize positive 1 out, leaving y minus 2 is equal to 0. So now we have y minus 2 in common. So we can bring that one out, y minus 2 out, leaving y plus 1 is equal to 0. And from here we have two factors, so we can equate this to 0 and we can also equate this to 0. So let's go ahead and do that. So we are going to have y minus 2 to be equal to 0 or y plus 1 to be equal to 0. So we're going to have y to be equal to 2 or y to be equal to minus 1. But from the question, we are asked to find for x, not y. And then from here, we let y to be equal to s cubed. And so we are going to have y to be equal to s cubed. And so let's consider when y is equal to 2. So when y is equal to 2, we are going to have 2 to be equal to s cubed. And so from here, you want to make x the subject. So you are going to take the cube root of both sides. So you are going to have the cube root of 2 to be equal to x. And so x is equal to the cube root of 2. Now let's consider when y is equal to negative 1. So when y is equal to negative 1, what happens to x? And so we are going to have negative 1 is equal to s cubed. So over here, we are going to push negative 1 to the right hand side. So we are going to have 0 to be equal to s cubed plus 1. And so from here, we are going to have s cubed plus 1 to be equal to 0. Now you can rewrite 1 as 1 cubed, and then this as s cubed to be equal to 0. Now the left hand side is of the form a cubed plus b cubed, and this can be expressed as a plus b multiplying a squared minus ab plus b squared. And so we are going to rewrite the left hand side in this form. And so x turns out to be our a and then 1 to be our b. And so we are going to have, here we have a plus b. So we're going to have s plus 1 multiplying a squared, and a is x. So s squared minus ab. So we're going to have minus x and then b squared, and b is 1. So plus 1. And this will be equal to 0. So over here we have two factors, and so we can equate this to 0 and this also to 0. Now we're going to have s plus 1 to be equal to 0 or s squared minus x plus 1 to be equal to 0. And so from here we are going to have s to be equal to negative 1. So right now we are having two answers for x. We are having s to be equal to third root of 2. Then we are also having s to be equal to negative 1. So let's go ahead and solve for this. Now in this video, we are only going to consider real roots, leaving imaginary or complex numbers aside. And so to be able to see if this quadratic equation has a real solution, we are going to use the discriminant. And the discriminant, let's say d is given by b squared minus 4ac. Now when we compare this with the general quadratic equation, a is equal to 1, and then b is equal to -1, c is equal to 1. So we are going to have d to be equal to 1. We have b squared and b is -1. So -1 squared minus 4 times ac, and a is 1, c is 1. So over here we are going to have -1 squared is 1, and then -4 times 1 is going to give us -4. And so we are going to have -3, which is less than 0. And since -3 is less than 0, it tells us that this quadratic equation over here has no real solution. And so we are going to also ignore this as part of our answers. And so our answer still remains these two. Thank you for watching. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and then comment as well. See you in the next video.